In Naples came together Saturday to honor the lives of lost loved ones. It's an annual event that helps people grieve and remember with a memorial service and a butterfly release. Fox 4's Keenan Scott has the story.
Carisha Demarest,
John Derek,
Leon Boltish.
These were the names of loved ones that were read out loud Saturday during a memorial service to honor those who have passed away over the last year. That name reading followed by the release of countless butterflies. And as volunteers and employees for Avow put it, the release holds a lot of symbolism for those dealing with grief. No matter the age of the loved one or when they passed, members of the public were invited to have their names read aloud. For some, they do it every year, while for others, it's their first time. But for all, a meaningful and emotional experience.
The releasing of the butterfly is a symbol of lives that have been lost but are rebirthed into the sky and able to fly again.
Rebirthed and flying again. Powerful imagery for those who have experienced loss.
What we've seen is that a butterfly may come and land on someone, and to them that's a representation that their loved one is present.
The event resonated with Mark Coe, who's been a volunteer with Avow for years. Today was his first time taking part in the butterfly release, but he was asked to bring some special talents.
I'm like, yeah, I could do origami. And they're like, oh, that's cool. We're having this butterfly event, you know? And they're like, well, can you make origami butterflies to show the kids? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem.
But to him, the biggest part was about connection.
It's for the most part why we came out here, because you just want to just be around people and share their emotions with them.
Emotions that culminated with the release.
It can be very therapeutic for them to be able to see the beauty of the butterfly and to be able to see and experience life.
In Naples, Keenan Scott, Fox 4.
Absolutely beautiful moment for a lot of them. Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about weather now. You were telling me that, fog is kind of just spread only in a little bit of southwest Florida today, so not all of us are going to see that.
Yeah, we've had a couple of foggy mornings on and off over the past couple of days. This morning, if you take a look outside, you might see, especially for our northern counties. So, for example, this is Charlotte Harbor Event and Conference Center, and this is going to be in Charlotte County. Looks a little hazy out on the Peace River, and that's because it's DeSoto and Charlotte counties where we're seeing that haze. Popping up the visibility map, you could see it's not terrible, though. We're down to about 7 miles of visibility. That's going to be over in Port Charlotte, also in Northport, 6 miles of visibility in Arcadia. But as you work your way down south, we're looking at almost perfect 10s across the board, aside from Palmdale sitting at 9 miles of visibility. We're also starting off a little bit cooler this morning compared to yesterday, thanks to all of that rain that moved through and also that cloud coverage building in. Currently 67 in LaBelle, the same in Fort Myers, 68 in Bonita Springs, 69 over in the Naples community. Clouds and radar sweeping across nice and clear, but we have that cloud coverage still pulling away associated with the front that we're still dealing with. And not all of us are going to be rid of the cloud coverage just yet, as we have scattered showers and storms in the forecast for later on today. So on and off, we're going to be dealing with those cloudy skies. Thankfully, over the past 24 hours, we saw some rainfall. Wasn't really enough to amount to a huge dent in this drought index that we're dealing with, but hey, we'll take whatever we can get. So for the Port Charlotte Punta Gorda area, a little less than an inch and less than a tenth of an inch in most of Fort Myers and Cape Coral. Working our way inland to Immokalee, 0.2 of an inch, and almost isolated spots just south of Naples dealing with a little more than 1 inch of rain. Taking a widened view look, you can see part of that front that's pulling away, and it's taking a lot of the moisture and also the cloud coverage with it. That doesn't change our forecast too much, though, as we have an unsettled weather pattern over the next several days. Rain chances do remain near 40% for today, bumping up to 60% for Monday, mainly impacting our inland areas. 20% between Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we bump back up to 40% chances for rain on your Thursday. Here's what we can expect for today. On and off showers. No reason to cancel any of your outdoor plans, but you can see that cloud coverage going to kind of block out that sun just a little bit. So here are those scattered showers as we head into the afternoon. Again, Spotty. No reason to cancel any of your outdoor plans as we head through the evening. Overnight hours look nice and quiet. And then as we start off tomorrow morning, early we're dry, but then scattered showers work back into the forecast as we head into the later morning hours. A few isolated storms for our inland areas, absolutely a possibility for tomorrow afternoon. And then we do it all over again. Rainfall-wise, we're still behind where we should be for this time of the year. Almost 3.5 inches behind over in Fort Myers, almost 3 inches behind over in Naples. Average high for this time of the year, 83. We are almost on par with that in the Super 7-day forecast. We're forecasting high of 85 for today, 87 as we head into tomorrow. Isolated storms and scattered showers do remain in the forecast for the next several days. The long-range forecast does show, yes, we are warm, going to be in the upper 80s near 90 degrees. But on Friday, we have another front moving through, and that's going to filter in cooler, drier air. So by next weekend, we're looking cooler with highs in the low 80s and plenty of sunshine.
Lauren, thank you. Right now, we're taking a look outside on your roadways. You can see it's a little dark out there because the sun is still trying to find its way over here to start our beautiful Sunday morning. I-75 south at mile marker 134. Looks like there's no problems on your roadways at this point in time. But of course, if there are, we will let you know on air and online at fox4now.com. Time right now is 7:19. You're watching Fox 4 Morning News. All right, time right now is 7:22. Let's take a look at your roadways once again. I-75 north, the mile marker 142. As you can see right here, really no traffic at all. Of course, it is a Sunday morning at 7:30, so you guys really aren't going to have too much of a problem. You guys should be able to have your time kind of cut in half, really, if you have to go anywhere today. But of course, be ready because there will be some scattered showers as your day goes on. Well, it's been a week of news headlines for the Walt Disney Company as they now are at the center of a cultural controversy and a political war with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Our sister station in West Palm has more on Disney and our governor.
This week, Walt Disney World is making headlines advancing inclusion and diversity, removing gender-specific greetings at its parks, pushing to make 50% of its characters LGBTQ by the end of the year. This all after the most magical place on earth came under scrutiny when employees protested Disney's silence on Florida's parental rights bill known as the Don't Say Gay bill.
I don't think Disney wanted to get dragged into the culture wars.
Political analyst Brian Crowley said the Walt Disney World Company listened to its employees and spoke up, but denouncing Florida's Don't Say Gay bill and vowing to support organizations working to repeal it
is certainly not appropriate now at this point.
Was heard loud and clear by Governor Ron DeSantis.
It's interesting that despite winning, he now wants revenge. And against the largest employer in the state.
Crowley referring to DeSantis' suggestion that he will work to change a 55-year-old law that allows Disney World to govern itself in Orlando. Disney has its own jurisdiction and law enforcement, but maybe not for long.
I don't believe you, quote, retaliate, but I think what I would say is, as a matter of first principle, I don't support special privileges in law just because a company is powerful and they've been able to wield a lot of power.
Power Disney has, major domestic and global power. Disneyland in California has an $8.5 billion economic impact and accounts for more than 75,000 jobs in Southern California. In Florida, Walt Disney World and related businesses generate even more, an estimated $18.2 billion a year, according to a 2011 impact study. The company also donates millions to charity every year. $294 million in 2021 went to charities, $150 million directed to underrepresented communities, and in the last 40 years, more than 145,000 magical wishes granted globally through the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And Palm Beach County soon to enjoy a piece of the pie.
Brightline is probably one of the bigger pieces that links that puzzle.
Director of the county's Tourism Development Council, Glenn Jurgensen, says Disney, already a huge driver of visitors to the state, is expected to have a larger impact on the Palm Beaches.
The extension of Brightline to Orlando will certainly benefit over time from folks that will say, I'll go to Disney for a little while, spend a short vacation up there, and then I'll come down to the Palm Beaches. And
so it begs the question,
Is this the political fight that Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida wants to take on against Disney?
There are a whole lot of issues that are going on in the state that makes the squabble with Disney seem irrelevant to the big issues that face people every day.
All right, your time right now is 7:26. Let's take a look outside at Pink Shell Resort. As you can see right now, it's going to be a beautiful sunset, but some cloud coverage is making its way in here. So, of course, some of us will see some scattered showers as the day goes on, but not all of us. Lauren Petrelli have more for you guys coming up in Maine weather here in just a little bit after this break.
Live from Southwest Florida, you're watching Fox 4 Morning News.
Thank you so much for sticking with us here on Fox 4 Morning News. Right now, we're taking a look outside here at Fox 4 Studios. A gorgeous setting, really. Honestly, I know there's a little bit of cloud coverage, but it adds a little bit of a cool feeling to it. I mean, look at that. I mean, obviously, we know that some of this is going to possibly be some rain chances coming in here to Southwest Florida, but really, what would you say would be our chance of seeing it here in our area?
We're going to have some scattered showers throughout today. It's still going to be a low chance, especially when you compare it to our rain chances for the rest of the week, but you could see a couple of quick showers.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it be? Yeah. I've been sitting here yesterday. I was like, oh, it's raining. And I take the trash out, it's not. Fantastic.
Welcome to Florida, where it rains for a few seconds and then it's sunshine later on. I do think today we're going to see a tad bit less sunshine, maybe compared to yesterday, as that cloud coverage builds in. So today we're looking at very low to low rain chances. A few isolated storms could mix in, but take a look as we head through Monday. Our rain chances do bump up as we start the beginning of your work week. As for right now, clouds and radar are sweeping across nice and dry, and that cloud coverage associated with the front and this unsettled weather pattern we're dealing with also pulling to the south. But don't let that fool you. We will have more cloud coverage building in as we head through the rest of your Sunday. We're also starting off slightly cooler thanks to the rain and all of that cloud coverage, so there is a positive side to this. 66 currently in LaBelle, 65 over in Palmdale, 67 in Fort Myers, 68 in Bonita Springs, and also 69 over in Naples. Hour by hour, you're going to notice more of that cloud coverage building in, and also a couple of scattered showers mixing in as well. I'll time out the rain for you, not just for today, but also for the rest of your work week ahead in your full forecast.
Lauren, thank you. Spring training is wrapping up here in Southwest Florida as the end of spring training is set to take place on Tuesday. It was a bit shorter than usual this year due to the MLB lockout. The MLB announced a collective bargaining agreement with the Players Union back on March 10th. That agreement is a 5-year deal, and this is a pretty big deal here in Southwest Florida. With a county report showing that 4 teams that train here, the Twins, Red Sox, Rays, and Braves, bring in about $69 million in revenue every year, and about $56 million of that money is spent outside the ballpark at local hotels and restaurants. Now, a local sports bar owner tells us that the return of spring training was a blessing for his business.
Everything we're going through with the COVID, the Omicron, the Delta, and all these things that we've been through, we need something good to happen to our community.
Today could be your last shot at some spring training. The Twins will be playing at Hammond Stadium today at 1 p.m.
And right now we're learning more about how departments train their officers, their deputies and troopers to handle potentially deadly situations. This comes after 3 law enforcement involved shootings were reported just last month. So recruits at the Southwest Florida Service Academy in Fort Myers use simulations like the one you're seeing Colton Chavez do right here, one of our reporters. It's training exercises like these that Academy Senior Director Todd Everly says can help future officers prepare for when they have to fire their weapons.
Is it a threat to them? Is it a threat to the community? Did they walk through the process completely right? And then if deadly force is necessary, are they making the right decision?
Those questions might seem easy to answer, but Everly says even in a controlled environment, it's harder than it looks. To graduate from the Southwest Florida Service Academy, recruits have to complete a total of 770 hours of law enforcement and high liability training.
And speaking of LCSO, a manatee was saved by the Lee County Sheriff's Office Marine Unit. FWC biologists also helped save the manatee at the Caloosahatchee River. The manatee had an injury that looks similar to those injuries from a boat strike. It's now getting the care it needs for those injuries.
The aftermath of a tragedy in Florida is following the death of a teenager who fell from an amusement park ride in Orlando, and it has the community there demanding for the removal of the ride.
Take this down! Take this down!
So the Juneteenth Project Coalition held a peaceful protest on Friday to honor 14-year-old Tyree Sampson, who was killed in a fall on the Orlando Free Fall ride at Icon Park. The organization's founder, Tina Wilson, called on the CEO of the Slingshot Group, Richie Armstrong, to take the ride down completely. State Representative Geraldine Thompson says that she will file a bill called the Tyree Sampson Bill to address deficiencies in areas of safety standards and state oversight training protocols for those rides. And it will involve something about seat belts, too.
It may be that the investigation will point out that not only the harness, but an additional safeguard, which would have been a seatbelt, could have saved Tyree's life.
Now, this all comes as the memorial for the teenager continues to grow at the site of the ride. This memorial you see here now sits in front of the Drop Tower Freefall ride at Icon Park on International Drive. Visitors place flowers, pictures, and more to honor Sampson. People who were paying their respects say they want the ride dismantled. They say it makes them question whether or not rides and attractions like this one are even safe enough to ride.
You
come out here and you're really supposed to have fun with family, and now that you see something like this, it's like, should we even get on anything, and should we actually do something?
Florida's Ag Commissioner has vowed to conduct a thorough and transparent investigation into what caused Samson to fall from the ride, all to prevent future tragedies like this one. The actions over in Ukraine have been watched by millions. All over social media, the current events continue to keep us up to date on what is taking place. And our friends over in Newsy tell us how Ukraine's internet has been keeping us informed.
Since the beginning of the invasion of Ukraine, Russia has launched cyber attacks and missiles that have knocked out large portions of the country's internet. But it's failed to push Ukrainians completely offline, thanks to a robust telecommunications system.
Unlike maybe a much smaller country that may rely on just a couple of connections out to the outside world, there is a rich fiber optic backbone connecting the cities of Ukraine. If one line gets cut, there's other paths to get around it.
So we haven't seen very long-term outages for the larger providers. For some smaller operators, we do see disconnections that we've seen for weeks. Overall, the connectivity is in the 80% range for the country of Ukraine.
When Ukraine's internet networks have gone down, it's usually because of a cyber attack or physical damage to equipment. Major Ukrainian telecom provider Trialon was hit with 2 separate hacks on February 24th and March 9th, knocking thousands of Ukrainians offline. UKR Telecom, the country's 7th largest internet provider, faced a cyber attack at the end of March that made the internet inaccessible for about half a day. Experts told Newsy that Russia may not be going after these telecom hubs because its military might need it.
Out of 60 cyber attacks that were committed, for example, during the week 15-22nd of March, only 4 were targeted to telecoms. There are some assumptions that it is not pragmatic for Russian troops to destroy infrastructure and attack it because they plan to use it on their occupied territories in future.
Missile strikes that have destroyed internet infrastructure haven't led to widespread, sustained outages either, in part because of the hundreds of telecom employees who've stayed to repair broken equipment.
There's enough technicians that are in country that are willing to take great risks to themselves to get out and fix things. They're able to fix things faster than they're getting broken.
Looking forward, the Russian military could still disconnect Ukraine's internet, but experts told Newsy a complete disconnect is highly unlikely.
I see only 2 ways how Ukraine can be completely cut off. First of all, the whole communication infrastructure will be physically destroyed, which for me seems quite impossible because as of yesterday, there are almost 5,000 telecom service providers registered in Ukraine. The second one is basically to order all the internet service providers to shut down the internet, especially in the occupied territories. It seems highly unlikely too, because I have no reasons to believe that all of the internet service providers will cooperate somehow with Russian authorities.
In the meantime, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky takes to Facebook, using the internet to rally his people at home and supporters around the world. Tyler Adkison, Newsy, Chicago.
Well, Laura, let's talk a little bit more about what we can expect today. You know, you did tell us a little bit about the rainfall we can see today, but are we going to see any at all this week?
Yeah, we're going to see an unsettled weather pattern for the next couple of days. So that's going to bring scattered showers and even the possibility of a few storms. We need the rain, though.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so I know it's the last day of your weekend. Many people have outdoor plans, but take a look with our drought monitor. We're ranging anywhere between about 3 to almost 4 inches behind where we should be for this time of the year. So how much rain are we expecting to see, and will it help with this drought? We'll talk more about that ahead in your full forecast.
Lauren, thank you. Right now, we're taking a look outside I-75 North and mile marker 150. As you can see right here, the sun is shining as it's going to be a beautiful day here in Southwest Florida, but even when it's rain or shine, when is it really not? Time right now is 7:40. You're watching Fox 4 Morning News. Time right now is 7:43. Let's take a look outside your roadways. This is obviously that scattered fog that Lauren has kind of been telling us about. I-75 north, mile marker 166. As you can see right here, I would have to say, what would that be? About like half a mile of